Listen, now we have to start with chemical state of matter. Chemical state of matter. According to chemical state, there are three parts, that is element, compound and mixture. First we have to discuss something about element. Element. Element is the smallest particle of matter which is having same property like that of the initial or original element. It is having same property like that of the matter, and it is called pure form of matter. It is also called pure form of matter. Pure form of matter, it constitutes series of three types, that is metal, non-metal and metalloid. Metal, non-metal and metalloid. First we have to discuss about the metal. Metal. Generally, metals are obtained in solid state. Only one metal, mercury, is found in liquid state. Generally, metals are found in solid state. Only one metal, that is mercury, found in liquid state. Likewise, you can say about the non-metals. Non-metals are generally found in, that is, gaseous state. Few of them are in solid state, and only one liquid non-metal present, that is bromine. And the metalloids, it is having both the characteristic of metals and non-metals. Okay. First we have to discuss about metal, then non-metal and metalloid. Okay. It constitutes from same type of atoms or molecules. Same type of atoms. That means mainly it constitutes from homoatomic molecules or only a same type of atoms. Okay. And metals are malleable and ductile in nature. Metals are malleable and ductile in nature. Metals possess high melting point and boiling point. Next point we can say, metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. And metals possess the luster and shining surface. It possesses metallic luster. Okay. So we can say metal. First we can say it possesses metallic luster. Second, good conductor of heat and electricity. Third, malleable and ductile in nature. Possess high melting point and boiling point. Generally found in solid state. state and only mercury is in liquid state. Only mercury is found in liquid state. Okay. And if you consider the example, any metal you can see, that is iron, copper, zinc, all these you can see. Okay. Next we have to consider for non-metals. Non-metals. Non-metals are having gougy surface, which are very neither these are bad conductor of heat and electricity. Exception is graphite, which is a good conductor of heat and electricity. Next you can see, it is neither malleable nor ductile in nature. It is neither malleable nor ductile in nature. These are about the characteristic properties of non-metals, and we can say non-metals are found in gaseous state, few of them are in solid state, and only one liquid non-metal is there, that is bromine. Non-metals are having gougy surface, second, neither malleable nor ductile in nature, third, bad conductor of heat and electricity, exception is graphite, found in gaseous state, few of them are in solid state, and only one liquid non-metal bromine is present. This is about non-metals, that is having gougy surface, neither malleable nor ductile in nature, bad conductor of heat and electricity, exception is graphite, found in gaseous state, few of them are in solid state, and only one liquid non-metal, bromine is present. Then you have to consider metal. It is having property of both metal and non-metal. It is having properties of both metal and non-metals. This is about metal. Therefore, we can say that is our element constitution, that is of three types, that is metal, non-metal and metal. An element is one of the pure form of matter, like compound. Metal, that is state of matter, is called compound. Compound. First we have to consider its definition. That is, compound constitutes from two or more elements, that is chemically combined with each other in a definite proportion, in which properties of the compounds, cannot properties of the elements, we cannot find. Again I repeat it. That is, compound constitutes from two or more elements by the chemical combination in definite proportion in which properties of constituents cannot be found. Therefore, we can say in compound, three things we have to see. It constitutes from two or more elements. Second, by chemical reaction. Third, in a definite proportion. That means, for example, we can say, let's say hydrogen and oxygen. Let's say we are taking hydrogen and oxygen somehow. Then nearby school, just put hydrogen and oxygen together and inhale it. You cannot say I am getting water. Therefore, it must be in a definite proportion. Therefore, we can say H2H2 plus O2, that producing 2H2. 2H2 plus O2, producing 2H2. Here it is in gaseous state. Here it is in that is gaseous state. By chemical combination, it converts into liquid. And in a definite proportion, 2:1 proportion, then we are getting here 2 molecules of water, 2 molecules of hydrogen, 1 molecule of oxygen produces 2 molecules of water. And by chemical reaction or chemical combination. But while we are drinking water, we cannot find the taste of neither hydrogen nor that of oxygen. Therefore, we are concerned about the compound. And compound is of two types. That is, we can say inorganic compound and organic compound. Inorganic compound and organic compounds. On the basis of their characteristics, we can separate them. First, inorganic compound constitutes from any element. Organic compounds mainly produced from hydrocarbon. In addition to hydrocarbon, it may have oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. First point. Second point, we can say inorganic compounds generally are soluble in water, but organic compounds are generally soluble in organic solvents like benzene, ether, etc. Third, you can say number of inorganic compounds is very less, that is less than 1 lakh. But number of organic compounds is more than 3 or 4 millions. Next, we can say that is inorganic compounds possess high melting point and boiling point. Organic compounds possess low melting and boiling point. Next point, we can say inorganic compounds do not possess isomerism, but organic compounds possess isomerism. Okay. It's right that we can say isomerism. Isomerism, that is, it comes from two Greek words, iso and meres. Iso means equal, meres means part, equal part. Okay. That means you can say, if we are having that is same compound, same formula, that means you can say same formula having different compounds, it is considered isomers. And we can say isomerism is the process by means of which isomers are produced. Okay. Next we have to consider about difference in between compounds. The first one you can say constitutes from any element mainly from hydrocarbon and in addition to oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus, nitrogen, etc. Second point, generally soluble in water. Generally soluble in organic solvents. Like benzene, ether, etc. Next, third point you can say possess high melting point and boiling point. Possess low melting point and boiling point. Number less than 1 lakh. More than 3 millions. Do not possess isomerism. Possess isomerism. And lastly, you can say that inorganic compounds generally produced by ionic bond and organic compounds generally produced by covalent bond. Okay.